Hello, you're listening to the Local Music Lowdown, and tonight in the studio I am joined by a member of Marion. He has been in many different bands over the years. Hello, how's it going?
Alright, how you doing?
How have you been today? Have you had a good day?
Actually, it's been a really full-on day. Crazy day. I've been running my mum around, and then, God, what else have I done? It's like a stack of things. I had to sign on, and get myself prepared for this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I woke up late as well, like I normally do.
Now, Marion were first big in the early 90s. What made you decide to reform now?
I guess more than anything, we kind of missed each other, really. And it just came about. One of my mates phoned me up one night and said, I'm feeling a bit down, Jules, can we go out for a drink? And I don't really go out to pubs that much these days. And I thought, oh, okay, then. Well, it's mate's feeling down, I might as well, go out with him. And I went to the place called the Snow Goose in Mac, and Phil was in there, Phil from Marion, the guitarist. We're always pleased to see each other. It's like, hey, Phil, how you doing? All right, yeah, bum. We had a few drinks and stuff, and Phil said to me, he goes, have you still got that white bass, Jules, that you used to have in Marion? And I said, yeah, of course I have, yeah. I said, and I just kind of said to him, I'd love to play those old songs again on that bass guitar. And Phil looked at me and said, I'd love to play those old songs again myself. And I looked at him, I said, hold on, we're all still alive, aren't we? And I kind of counted them on my hand. I went, Jamie, Phil, me, Tony, so I said, well, why don't we do it? Simple as that. And he was like, I'd be well up for it, but it's a big headache, and I've tried it before, la-di-da, because there's a few stories that go with Marion. Some people will be familiar with them, some people won't, but it's complicated. So he said to me, well, I tell you what, Jules, yeah, I'd be up for it, but you can do all the work, make all the phone calls, all that kind of thing. He said, and if it's a go, I'll be up for it. So I thought, all right. Well, I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Phil. I'll text everyone first before I text Jamie, the singer, that is, and see if they're up for it. And I said, but I'll text you in the morning and see if you're still up for it, because we had a few drinks, and nice things get said. And he said, no, Jules, I'm right up for this, Well, I thought, fine. Anyway, stop me if I ramble, by the way.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, okay. So I said, all right. Anyway, the next day, I texted Tony, and obviously I didn't need to text myself. And I thought, I'll text Jamie last, because if I say to him, us guys are up for it, then it'll be a bit more of a realistic proposition for him to think,
yeah.
I'll want in on that, So I texted Tony, and Tony sent me a text back, and it just said, SH1T. Can I say that on the radio?
You can say SH1T, I think.
Yeah, I think that most people will get
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And then I got another text from him a couple of seconds later saying, is this for real? So I texted him back and said, me and Phil have met up, and we're quite excited about the thought of it. So Tony got back to me and said, I'd love to. I thought, this is sounding good. So with that, I phoned Jamie. And I've not spoken to Jamie for about 4 or 5 years. Not for any other reason that he moved to London, and, none of us have got any money for phone calls and stuff. And I said to Jamie, I said, look, I've worded up the other guys in the band. Everyone's up for it, for getting back together. I said, however, if you fancy it, brilliant, we're going to go for it. If not, we'll all love you just the same, and, we can put it to bed. And Jamie was just like, wow, Jules, this is brilliant. You can't believe you've asked me. I'm absolutely dying to do it again. So with that, we had a massive long conversation about, old times and, just catching up. Yeah. And then the second that I put the phone down, I ran straight upstairs and emailed a guy called Bruce Mackenzie, who's, he's become our manager now. He's kind of, he's got his own record company and publishing and what. I know he's a Marion fan. And I've met him a few times and got on well with him. And I thought, I'm going to email Bruce and say, Marion are back together, and then see what he does with that information. So I got an email back from him about 30 seconds later saying, brilliant, Jules, great news, keep me posted. And I thought to myself, yeah, right, you're going to be back to me tomorrow. And sure enough, he was. He phoned me up the next day. We were on the phone for about an hour and a half, and he was like, Jules couldn't sleep last night. He said, I'm very excited about this. I want in. I said, brilliant, Bruce, let's go for it. And that's where we're up to with it now.
So there's been a few different variations over the years. Is this all the original lineup?
It's out of 5 of us, there's 4 of the originals, one of which I am. The drummer now the original drummer now lives in Jordan, I think, and he's like a property developer or something like that. He's not played drums for years.
Yeah, sure.
So we're using the drummer that featured in the 2006 lineup, because Marion got back together for a very short time in 2006, but unfortunately that came to a crashing halt when Jamie became seriously ill and had to have open heart surgery and whatnot. So the guy we're using now is the guy from back then. So you could almost say that he's, in fact, he's technically been in Marion longer than any of the other drummers. So so it's a very original lineup. Yeah.
Okay,
the best lineup as well.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I'm sure it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first track we're going to play for you guys tonight is "Let's All Go Together." Can you give us a bit of background into this track?
Very, very early song. It used to be called King of That Thing. In the early days I hated playing it live because it had this funny little waltzy kind of swing groove to it, and I was a bit of a thug back then. I thought, what's this? However, hearing Jamie's vocal on it, suddenly it all made sense. This song's a very, very early Marion song. Go for it.
Okay, this is "Let's All Go Together" by Marion on the Local Music Lowdown.
Tried to make me think like you. It's hard for you. They don't understand your life's an exam. You need something. It's hard for you. They don't understand you're miles from the crowd and you need someone. Just shout that love, so smile inside. It's hard for you. They don't understand your life's an exam. You need something. It's hard for you. They don't understand your mind's from the ground and you need it someone painful.
That is "Let's All Go Together" by Marion. Now I am joined in the studio by one of the band members, the bassist, in fact, Jules. So, what was it like first time round, going around as one of these bands at heady area of Britpop? Are there any crazy stories? Was it as wild as we're led to believe? Anything broadcastable?
That's what I'm laughing at, yeah. I'm also laughing at this chair and precariously swinging on here. It's not actually... If my voice goes kind of in the distance, it means I've fallen off the back of this chair here. Rock and roll stories. Oh God, yeah. I actually nothing particularly seedy or weird, but a lot of it you'd have to be there to see. I remember particularly one night, it's no big deal, but we were playing in Glasgow, and I just remember looking round and seeing Jamie and Phil falling down some stairs. Falling down some stairs together with a fire extinguisher that they set off. Falling down these stairs with this fire extinguisher crashing down the stairs after them. And it was just so funny. They were giggling. It was anyway. That's one of the more tamer ones.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to think about that. There's that many, you know, because you meet a lot of characters in this game. For want of a better term, it's not really a game, I guess. But you meet a lot of characters, and obviously, you know, it's especially when you're doing something quite high profile. There's a lot of pressure on. A lot of people expecting a lot of things from you. And obviously your recreation moments are usually a little bit more bizarre or a bit on the edge than the average person who's done a job at 9 till 5 at B&Q or whatever. No disrespect to them, but you know, you're playing to a lot of people and you're doing all these things, and there's a lot of money behind you, and there is a lot of pressure, and you tend to go a little bit mad, you know. So yeah, there's it was. I mean, don't forget, Marion were kind of, you know, we had our big time back then in 1995, and that was in that particular time in the music industry, there was millions and millions of pounds just flying around for this, that, and the other. So as you can imagine, it was a very kind of hedonistic time, and you know, there was some big fat guy paying for it all somewhere, you know.
I've heard Marion's got a great reputation as a live band. Didn't you recently perform at Cabin 5150? What was it like performing in this band again? Was it the same energy, the same buzz, the same?
Interesting question. Without a doubt. Well, funny enough, the Cabin 5105 is it called? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 5150. Yeah.
5150. That's it. Yeah. It was for a selected amount of a selected audience. They had to like win the tickets and stuff, and there was only 60 people there. Now. Marion, you know, we kind of, it sounds really pompous this, but we kind of used to playing to a lot of people and hearing like a whoosh, a big whoosh from the crowd, you know, and that gets us going, it gets the crowd going. The gig last Thursday was a very kind of sweet little gig, really. It was like an audience with Marion, but that didn't mean we were playing like we were on a cruise ship or anything.
Yeah, sure.
And funny enough, I've just seen a video playback of it tonight, and it was amazing. And Jamie was he was absolutely like a madman. He was electric. It was fantastic. It was my first gig in 16 years with the band. It was just great to be back on the stage with my friends, you know, playing some great music. So it was absolutely a cracking gig. However, I must say, the feedback we've had from it, because there's people from all over the country, some people have come from abroad to watch it, which is amazing, really. You know, a little gig on Thursday, you know, a freezing cold Thursday night in Macclesfield, and you're getting people travelling hundreds of miles to come and see us. And the feedback has just been awesome, absolutely awesome. We had photographers there, the newspapers there. La-di-da, it was fantastic. Thanks for the question.
That sounds great. Okay, the next one we're going to play is Sleep. Can you give us a bit of info on this one? Yeah,
Sleep, fantastic. It was, blimey, this is one we did on The Word, actually. There was a programme called The Word a few years ago on Channel 4, I think it was, and it was like, it's what the programme that broke Nirvana and a bunch of other bands. And this is the song we played on The Word. Yeah, brilliant song. It's just a real stomping, powerful song. I don't know what else to say about it. I love it, still do.
Okay, this is Sleep by Marion on the Local Music Lowdown. I hope you guys enjoy this one.